bear with me. Okay. Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. My name is Greg Prescott from In5D and ZENTASIA. And you're tuned into a ZENTASIA Spirit Chat, episode 3. Tonight's topic is psychic visions. And this could include anything from deja vu and intuition to exploring the possibilities of remote viewing, precognition, and telepathy. We'll delve into the mysterious realm of psychic vision, examining the experiences that seem to transcend the boundaries of conventional perception, from unexplained glimpses into the future to the profound connections between individuals. Tonight's discussion aims to unravel the enigma of psychic phenomena and their impact on our understanding of consciousness and reality. So join us for an intriguing journey into the world of psychic mysticism. And I'll let everybody in about 3 minutes. So, what's the difference between psychic visions, precognition, telepathy, and remote viewing? It's a good question. Psychic visions involve receiving information or images beyond the ordinary senses. This can include seeing events, people, or places that are not physically present or perceivable through the regular five senses. Psychic visions may manifest as vivid mental images or a sense of knowing. Precognition refers to the ability to foresee or predict future events before they occur. Individuals with precognitive experiences may have dreams or visions or intuitive insights about events that later come to pass. It's essentially a form of foresight that goes beyond what can be explained by normal perception or deduction. Telepathy involves the direct transmission of thoughts, feelings, or information from one person's mind to another without the use of the known senses. It's often described as a form of mind to mind communication. Telepathic experiences may include the sharing of emotions, images, or words between individuals without any apparent external communication. And remote viewing is a phenomenon characterized by the acquisition of information about a distant or unseen target through extrasensory perception. Unlike conventional perception, remote viewing suggests that the ability to gather details about a target without direct sensory contact. Practitioners often enter a state of relaxed focus or altered consciousness to explore and describe the target, which may be unknown to them beforehand. As for myself, I just see things before they happen, which would fall under the category of precognition. Although I do get psychic visions as well. It might come as a vision or it might come as a dream. For example, my ex-wife moved from Florida back to New York with my daughter. Afterwards, I had a dream where I was walking to my car with my daughter in that same state that she moved to, but the car was covered in an eggshell. A few weeks later, after the dream, I was offered a job in the state where my daughter was living, and I moved back there on Easter weekend. The eggshell represented Easter eggs, and I arrived on Easter Day and saw my daughter that day. I've had a lot of dreams about UFOs and being aboard a mothership, but maybe we'll cover dreams in an upcoming spirit chat. So, with that in mind, let's open up the room and welcome all of our friends to ZENTASIA Spirit Chat, episode 3, Psychic Visions. And if you'd like to join us, I'll put a link in the YouTube chat on the ZENTASIA channel. And I'll do that right now. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to let everyone in the meanwhile as well. So And paste. All right. All right now. And I'll put the YouTube link on Facebook. ZENTASIA, or I'm sorry, StreamYard has a lot of this done for us. Join us. We're live. Exclamation point. And I'll just share this on Telegram, and then we're ready to rock and roll. And thank you for bearing with me. All right. And I've got Vera joining me right now. Hi, Vera. And Toons is here. You can't see him on YouTube, but Rob is here. He says that he's connecting to his audio right now. So he'll be on in a minute. I just spoke with Allie, and she's throwing her makeup on, and she'll be here momentarily
I'm so
too.
lucky I don't have to.
It's a blessing. I think most women don't need it.
Oh, we lost Toons.
Yeah. Oh, he said the last time, he said that he had to agree to some software. And I think that was just the Zoom software agreeing to let him come on because it coordinates with Zoom and YouTube. So apparently it wasn't on his computer the last time, I'm guessing. But
I don't know. I didn't get an update, but
no.
a while back, yes.
Hey, is my volume okay? I know I've had issues with volume before.
Well, I can hear you very well.
Good, good.
But it is, I know your mic volume can be louder.
Yeah, I can, but I just don't want it too loud where I'm like screaming at everyone.
Well, that depends if you talk like this.
What?
Or what?
All right, I'll do it up just a little bit more. Okay, how's that? Is that any better?
Yeah.
All right. All
Not
right.
too, it's not screaming.
Good.
And I got sensitive ears, correct?
On.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psychic visions.
Yeah. Do you have any? What types do you have? Do you have the psychic visions? Can you remote view, telepathy, precognition?
I have not even begun to register in what directions. But one of the big things I had to literally teach myself to wait at least 3 seconds when I'm standing in front of the red light, because I see it jump green, and then a couple of seconds later it jumps green.
Ah,
So if I don't wait, I drive through red.
could be worse. You could be colorblind and not even see the colors.
Thankfully, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Here in the United States, the lights have like a strobe light on them, as well as the colors red, green, and yellow. But they'll have a strobe light, so even people who are colorblind can tell which light is on.
No, but with us it's red, orange, no yellow, and then
Yellow,
the
yeah,
green.
green, yeah.
So, and it
It is
goes
here,
in sequence.
right? That's the way it is here. Yeah.
But there's so many things that I foresee things, and sometimes I'm I have moments that I literally can tell exactly what is inside someone's house. I know the layout, even though I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
That I walk into a place and I know exactly where to find the toilet. I've never been there. So it varies with a lot of things that, and yeah, remote viewing. I do have sometimes real clear where it's going,
Mm-hmm.
but not always.
Right. Right. You got to tune into that energy of whatever it is you're looking for, and you really got to focus in on that. But you also have to be relaxed at the same time. Allie and I have done it several times.
Well, with me, I go overboard. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years back, about 8, 9 years back, with communicating with animals. Every time when I focused on it, I didn't get anything until I found out I was on all the time. So when I focus on it, I overfocus. So I literally have to go to basically the state before I go to sleep. And that's when it happens. It's been a bit quiet last year, year and a half on the remote viewing. But I think there's a good reason for it, which I will
What,
not go into.
what do you think the reason is? Well, you said you won't go into it, so I won't press you on it. At least,
Well, let's say that a certain person has triggered a lot of negative entities, and when that person is not home, it visits me.
well, I'll give Allie a good talking to then.
Well, I'm working on it. I put it on my
Putting it right over your head. I was making fun, thinking that it's Allie that you're talking about. Right over your
no,
head.
no.
By the way, I just want to say hi to Elsie. She's in the room. You guys, I
And
see her in both the room and in the waiting room. So I'll let her in on the waiting room.
I
And
think she
there's
froze on one.
maybe, oh, she logged in with a different email address this time, I think. No,
No,
that's the same
same.
one. Yeah.
I think that one is frozen.
Mm. No, no, I hear her. There she
Yeah.
is. All
Oh,
right.
hi guys.
Hi, how
Hi.
are you? Let me
I was I was trying to allow the camera on the settings, and I guess I it took me out of the live stream. So sorry
there's a
about that.
guy, there's a guy that's in the ZENTASIA YouTube chat right now that said he refuses to agree to the third party software. That's the only way you can really get in. You got to have the Zoom software to communicate with the YouTube software. So it's too bad. But hey, Rob, I see you in YouTube. And I also see Sarah Randall's
Really?
there.
In YouTube?
Yeah, in YouTube.
In
Yeah,
or on YouTube?
in the YouTube chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And Lisa, you got some background stuff going on there, but hi and welcome to
Really?
Spirit Chat,
In
my dear.
YouTube?
Hey, hey Greg. Hey
How are
everybody.
you? Yeah,
I'm pretty good.
right.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, tonight's topic is psychic visions, and I kind of gave like a preamble about various kinds of psychic visions that someone can have, whether it's straightforward psychic visions, precognition, telepathy, remote viewing, and we're putting it out there. Do you guys have that? Is there anything you can recommend to other people in ways to
Well,
improve your psychic visions, or is that something that you think you're born with?
I think I got a great example because my biggest teacher is now in the house. That's my dog Marley. When I first had him, I had the most craziest images because first of all, he was not used to walk on the lead. He had a huge problem. He was so full in his digestive tract that literally, say, an amount of this much food would push it all out or part out. So when I walked him that he had to relieve himself, I literally saw him run. I could anticipate because I knew he was going to run if I wouldn't hold him. So I knew what he was going to do, even though it takes you by surprise because you don't expect it based on the stories you've heard about a dog that is perfectly fine, stays with you. And literally, it helped me stay ahead of him with a lot of things. And then still, you doubt yourself sometimes. And I gotta trust that I literally can say, I know what he's gonna do. And that's also difficult because when I would say, if I give this dog this and this and this much space, this will happen. Yeah, but then you're instigating it. No, because I see it that could happen. And mine, watch the word, could happen if I don't anticipate to it.
So what you're saying is you see probabilities before they happen.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Thank you. I couldn't find the right word, but you put it together.
I got it. I get it. So Elsie, you're new here. Is that your name, Elsie? Because I see Elsie
Yes,
Harpan. Okay.
I'm the same Elsie. Yes,
Okay.
yes. I guess since I was a kid, I was a very intuitive person, and I used to fight with it. I was like, I used to hear. No, I used to know. I do hear a voice. It's always on my right side, and
Okay.
I can never tell if it's male or female. And it tells me in advance things that they're gonna happen, like don't go that way, you know. And sometimes I use them like, no, I'm gonna go that way, and something will happen. And
Wait. Okay. How
and
often do you hear these voices? Is it
no,
every day
only
or just occasionally or?
no, it comes occasionally. I don't have a way of managing, or like the other day. This is a true story. This happened recently. I'm at Walmart, and this older man approached me and he says, "Excuse me, do you speak Spanish?" I said, "Yes, I do." Because I'm looking for ham, but I don't understand what this says. And it says sweet, no, honey ham. I said, this is kind of sweet a little bit. He goes, can you help me pick the right one? And I walked and I helped him. And we just chit chat for a little bit. And I asked him, I said, what is your name? Because he said, what's your name? Thank you for helping me. I said, my name is Elsie. And I said, what is your name? And immediately I heard my voice. His name is Jorge, which means George in Spanish. It's my dad's name. And a second later, he answered. He goes, "My name is Jorge," and I was like, and I just say internally, "Thank you," but I'm assuming it's my intuition. I don't know if it's a spirit guide or I truly don't know.
Makes you
Don't
wonder,
know.
have we already done everything that we're doing and you're just getting a glimpse of something that's already happened?
Yeah, and then like one day, for example, just this was years ago. I went back to Peru to visit my family, and I had my cousin who was expecting a baby. She already had a boy, and she really wanted a girl, but she said, "Whatever it is, I just want a healthy baby." As I hugged her with the belly in between us, I heard the voice saying she's having a girl clearly. And I looked at her and I said, "You're having a girl." She goes, "How do you know?" I said, "I just felt it." Because I
Mhm.
don't tell my family because they're going to think I'm crazy. And sure enough, when the baby was born, it was a girl.
Wow.
And another, it happens a lot with pregnant women. I always know what's the baby gonna be because the voice tells me, it's gonna be a boy, it's gonna be a girl. Like one day, a neighbor knocks at the door. I was at my friend's house, and she goes, "Can you get the door?" So I get the door, and I saw the girl, and I heard she's having a baby boy. And I looked at her, and she didn't look pregnant or anything. And I said, "I don't mean to be rude, but are you expecting?" And she goes, "No,
Well,
heck
you're rolling the
no."
dice on that one. What if she
Yeah,
said no?
no. And I said, "Well," I said, "You're gonna think I'm weird, but something is telling me that you're having a baby boy." She goes, "Oh no, my kids are grown, blah blah blah." She goes, "No, no, 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 no." And we laugh, we chit chat, and I didn't say more. Like
Hmm.
months later, I talked to my friend. She goes, "Hey, you remember the girl that came?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Guess what? She had a baby boy. It was unexpected pregnancy. It was out of the blue. And yeah, she had a baby boy. So she always thinks
Wow.
about you."
Aw, it's a great
Yeah.
story. Hey, Susie
Yeah.
and Allie, thanks for joining us. Lisa, tell us
Hey,
about your psychic experiences.
well, like a premonition. Like I
Could
well,
be
one
that.
of one of them was in 2019. Um, I finally had worn out my car. I had an old Geo Prism. It was great. I love that car. And it finally wore out, right? And it's making big grinding noises, and it was almost like 300,000 miles on it. So
Um,
yeah. So I was like, I had to get to work at the time, and I got uptight, about it, and I was praying about it and all that, and meditating and envisioning a car and stuff. And I go online and I go to this dealership, right? And I go online, and on there I see this white car. It's a Camry, and it's got 30 some thousand, 34,000. No, it's got 28,000 miles on it. That's what it started with. And my first thoughts were like, oh, did somebody go in there, roll it back a little bit, or something like that. But I kept looking at it and said, but they have it at Stadium Toyota, and I'm gonna go look at it. So I called Jose. I think that's what his name was. He was really helpful. I saved his name and info. But I called him and I said, hey, can I look at this car in your inventory? And I gave him the numbers off of it. I think I did. Anyway, I said, you have this car in your inventory. It's a white Camry. It's 2014 and a half, and it's got 28,400 miles on it. Where is it? Because I want to come see that. Because I
yeah.
think, I'm going to see if it's the real thing. And he said, ma'am, we don't have a car like that here. I said, but I saw it. Yes, you do. You have it in there I saw it online. He goes, well, we really don't have that car, but if you really want me to, I'll look in the back. And he couldn't find it back there. He said, and then I made him look again. He said, you know what, man? We do have a car like that. It wasn't posted online. It's never been online.
Wow.
But I'm going to let you, you have a look at it. You can come down here and see it. So,
Wow.
ended up getting that car, but he said no one had posted it online. He was looking at me really funny when I
Wow.
got there. He was just like this. And I was, because they just gotten it in, like barely gotten it in when I'd called about it. I mean, it literally just gotten there because somebody traded it in. And they had the insides apart. They were cleaning the inside of the car. They had the seat out, and they were detailing it and everything. So
Wow.
Great.
I
It's a great story.
But
Yeah.
there's been lots of them. There's been lots of, things like that. Most recent one was somebody knocked at the door, and I looked out there, and it was somebody about yard work, or and I knew he was legitimate. And I kind of looked at him, through the little hole there, and I said, "No, I'm not quite ready for that yet. Thank you." Then another person came along and knocked on the door, and I got a really funky vibe about it. Not like disco funky either. Like this is not a good thing vibe. And he wouldn't leave, right? And I got a premonition about that. Like I just saw that he wanted to come in and, per se, he needed to check my patio back there for yard work and then be nefarious, or I don't know, try to, who knows what, right? But I saw it, and I said, "No, I don't want any of that today." I said, "We don't need that today. Thank you." And I told him bye. I never opened the door, right? But he wouldn't leave and kept banging on the door. And so what I did was, all of a sudden I was standing in kind of near the kitchen, and the acoustics are pretty good in here. So that dog out of Cujo? Cujo the dog, he looks, or at least I think it's Cujo. He looks like a big black wolf dog. And it's like,
Yep.
And growl really loud. Well, I just came over. I just started. I'm just gonna bark really loud, like I have a big dog in here named Cujo and Thor. How about that? So I started, I could do a really good bark. I don't want to do it on. It's kind of embarrassing, but I did it, and it it was like it went real quiet out there, and it went real silent, and he didn't come back. He did not come back. He vacated.
Well,
But it was
let's hear that bark.
for real.
Go on.
Let's hear it.
Just don't laugh too hard to
Woof.
do it.
That's I can do.
Like that.
I'm sorry, that sounds like a dog with indigestion. I'm sorry. I've been
I'm not-
laughing if I was on the other side. What the hell is
Yeah,
that?
I feel like I kind of transform a little bit when I do it, and I don't want to do that, but it's a little shapeshiftery thing going on there. But
Oh gosh, yeah.
I use my guides helping me,
Too bad you
But
didn't
it was
capture all that. Too bad you didn't capture all that on YouTube or in a video, that'd be funny. So hi Susie, and thank you for sharing, Lisa and Elsie and Vera. What would you like to share, Susie?
Hold on a second. Am I there? Am I here?
Yeah.
Oh, how did that happen? I am here.
Yeah.
Mostly I joined because I wanted to hear everybody else's stories, because I don't know, except for deja vu, I don't know what premonitions I've had other than that.
Okay.
So I'm cheating.
So what kind of deja vu have you had? And does it come to you often or occasionally or?
Occasionally. And sometimes I think like I have dreamed it before, and it just might be something really dumb, like maybe putting something on a table, or it's not like super significant, like, ooh, I better remember this, but it's like, yes, I have seen this already. I know I have.
Yep.
This exact moment has happened before. It's happened many times, many, many times. And I think I'm psychically retarded, so
No.
either I have 500 blockages, or I don't know what. It's my sprained ankle. I'll blame it on that.
Sure. I remember, yeah, I've gotten that where I was driving through some town in northern New York
Mhm.
on my way to college. And all of a sudden I'm in this one small town, and I know that I had seen that town in a dream.
Mhm.
and that I had been there before. And
Hmm.
that's the kind of thing that you get.
The closest I
Mundane.
can,
It's mundane, but
yeah, it's
remember it.
like, hey, that's really weird. Or usually, like when I go down south to Tennessee, I'm like, man, I just love that area where my mom lives. I swear I've been there in a previous life. It's just a feeling I get. It's like someday maybe I'll move there. I don't know. One of my homes, my many homes that I will own.
It is beautiful there. My sister used to have a house there in Hermitage,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's beautiful country. It
Um,
takes it
go
takes
ahead.
forever though if you're driving east to west or west to east to go through Tennessee.
It's about 8 hours. My husband got stopped in Memphis. He had to stay there for the weekend. And I was in Bristol with my family, and he said it'll take 8 hours to get there. I said, don't even bother because you just got to turn around and go back. So yeah, 8 hours
Wow.
from one end to the other. Yeah.
I believe that. Just here in Sarasota, just to drive out of Florida, and I'm not obviously all the way down,
Hmm.
I'm Southwest, but if I were down in Naples or Key West, man, just from here, it takes 5 hours to drive out of the state. 5 hours
North.
of Florida. Yeah,
North. Yeah.
yeah.
And I flew to Miami last year, and told the flights total we split it in two. When Atlanta is like a halfway point from where I am from Pittsburgh, and then down to Miami, another hour and a half or whatever. I'm thinking that's 1,800 miles. I mean, the plane's going 600 miles an hour. I was on the plane looking at that little thing behind the seat and watching everything the airplane was doing, and the what do you call it? Height. It's not height, but
Altitude.
elevation, the temperature outside, it was 49 below. And I'm like, anything happens to this plane, we're all done. We are done instantly. But oh, it's incredible because I'm like growing up, we used to drive everywhere. I love traveling that way because you get to see so much. This country is so varied. And it would be nice someday if Allie gets to come, and like she's got the right idea. We want to get a van, a travel van, where you can stand inside of it and put a bed in there, so we can take the dog with us. We want to go all over the country right now. I want to
Yeah.
go to Texas with a gun. I'm just kidding.
Well, right now, any place in the South, that's a
Yeah.
possibility. I'd love to have a travel van or a little tiny Winnebago kind of
Hmm.
thing. I'd love to have that.
Oh,
Probably.
there's so much to see, so much to see. Route 66, I've been on that before. I haven't been west of uh Denver or
Wow.
Southwest at all, not California, anything like that. Nope.
Okay. Wow.
My
So
husband's been in
Sedona,
all 48 lower. You're driving
no
trucks.
Sedona,
What's that?
no Sedona.
Sed Oh, I'd like to go there too. Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
he's been there. He's been all over the place though.
So I see Allie is in the Zentasia chat. She said she's in that chat and she's having too much pain
Oh,
right now, so she won't be able to make it in. And if you guys could send Allie lots of
sorry.
loving, healing energy, it would be appreciated. I also see Linda Winger in the chat. So yeah, and yeah, Vera already said you're a step ahead of me, Vera, in the chat, sending energy. Appreciate that. Thank you. So has anyone had like dreams or visions of the future where it's like, all right, let me give you, I've explained this a few times on N5D, but I had this vision. I saw myself standing in front of myself, and all of a sudden, the whole planet gets flooded with white light. And when that happens, the only thing you feel is unconditional love to a magnitude you've never experienced before. And I compare it to the thing or the person, the people that you love the most. Magnify that by 1,000,000, and I'm probably underestimating it. That's the love you feel. And when that happens, money, government, politics, religion, none of that shit matters anymore. When you feel that much love going on, to me, that's probably the solar flare. And I was able to bask in that unconditional love for it only felt like 5 seconds or so. But it was only in reality about 5 seconds, but it felt like eternity. It was such an amazing feeling. And I had an N5D beach meetup the following year, and this nurse was there, and she said that she had a near-death experience, and she was shown the future, and she was shown exactly what I described. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, put it out there for you guys. Have you guys had anything like that where you're getting glimpses into the future and what we're going to see as a collective?
I think I've had many,
Mm.
but because of the way I grew up, I've put it on the back burner. But when things unfold the way it is at the moment, all I can think, oh, yep, I already knew that it was going to happen. And that, and that. So, yeah, and basically because my journey really started about 4 years ago, I have to backtrack all the things that I've had as a child, I've seen as a child. Like the phone. And then I say, oh, just go to the phone because someone's calling. So and so is calling. And it was right.
Mhm.
Before the phone rang. So, yeah, I cannot recall all the things that I've seen because some were just too bad to talk about.
Really?
But when I see a vision of something in the future and it is really bad, I always say, okay, this is something that could happen. How can we change it? Because when you know what's going to happen, you can make a difference.
So what you're saying is you've had apocalyptic kind of dreams.
I think I didn't even know that was that name. It is called that way, but yeah.
Wow, I've never had that. I rarely ever have a nightmare or a dream like that's apocalyptic or anything like that. But I could see how it would give you an opportunity to say, okay, well, if this is just one of the possibilities in multiple timelines, what can we do to avoid it or avert it? Because I think that a lot of us in our dream state, we're time weavers. We go in and we work on timelines. That's why, me being the triple Libra, when people ask me a question, a simple question, it takes me a while to come up with an answer because I think in the back of my mind's calculating the correct answer that will help humanity in the most beneficial way on all these different timelines.
Well, I've had, and that's just an example because hey, I've been a truck driver on the road. And everything, and I needed to go to be on time to a certain address. And it took me forever before I finally started to drive off with a load. And then hearing on the radio, uh-oh, good thing I'm late. Now I can take a detour. Otherwise, I would have most likely been right in the middle of that big accident.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah.
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 Or that I just keep someone, yeah, I gotta go. And I keep on talking. At the moment, I don't know what. And then to hear that they missed a big accident if they left 3 or 5 minutes earlier than they wanted. that they actually drove off.
Right.
And I think that that is also with the whole collective thing that's going on and everything. So I'm keeping a low key, otherwise I'm training myself. Because you start to think about it. And all I can do, it'll unfold. It will unfold the way it should unfold. But that can be on other things difficult because you feel you need to have something that you can control.
Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes you just got to surrender.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning. I'm in the middle of that process.
Yeah. And just say, fuck it. Universe has me. Creator's going to catch me. I'm good.
Whenever my husband would get behind a slow driver, I said, God's trying to tell you to slow down. Maybe there's something ahead you don't want to be a part of. So that's the way I look at it. I don't get frustrated with that. And so I don't tailgate people. I'm just like, all right, I'll take my time. I've got all the time in the world. I
Does
do.
John have a lead foot?
I put suggestions in the person. I think it would be a good day if you turn off here.
Uh-huh.
And then in the rear view mirror, you've seen that they've turned around and you're falling again.
I like driving fast because, you know, it makes me feel like I'm a free spirit, unrestricted.
Do you ever motorcycle? You ever do a motorcycle
No,
ride?
no, but I've had a convertible for years and it just, you know, you're unencumbered. You know, you got the stars out at night. Sometimes if you're driving at night, it's just amazing.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
beautiful if the stars are out.
love
When I
it.
worked at until midnight shift, and it was in the dead of winter a couple of years ago, it was so peaceful outside. Now I had to watch for deer, of course, they're everywhere. But I'm like, would get out of my car and I would just look at the stars and the moon. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
Years,
minutes.
years and years ago, I was ready to go to bed. I look out the window because I wanted to make sure the window was open and look outside. I put my clothes on, put my biker suit on, got on my bike, and drove through this big layer of snow
Mm.
in the middle of the night
In a motorcycle.
on a motorcycle.
Oh my
in
goodness.
the middle of the night. It the snow was really compacting, so I had good grip.
Right.
And then it was snowing, and then it broke open. I was driving under the full moon. I'm still getting chills from it.
Oh, it sounds beautiful.
I was driving, and then, yes, sometimes you see another car, and I was like, okay, I'll slow down, let that car make the turn, and then drive on. And sometimes I thought, well, if I don't slow down, then I'll be hit. And yep, the car went too fast and into embankment. And I just drove on.
Oh, wow.
I drove for an hour in the snow.
That's crazy.
Something enchanting about it. One time it took me 45 minutes to get home from work. It was not really only a 20-minute ride, but it was snowing so heavily. I just went like 15 miles an hour. And it was just like, wow, this is so cool. I'm not in a hurry. I'm going home.
One of the prettiest things,
about the motors. Sorry, Greg.
One of the prettiest things you'll ever see is a blizzard at night. Yeah. Where if you have a street light and you can see the snow falling under that, so pretty. Go ahead, Vera. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I went with my bike during the day to a bike meeting. It was a group of people. We went there. When I started to drive home, I was like, why the heck am I driving so slow? I think maybe 10, 20 miles an hour. And I was like, I'm not going to test it. So I put my foot on the asphalt, and it was ice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was driving really slow, and I see a car coming in the back. But I put my feet on the asphalt so they could see I was skidding. And I with my feet sideways. Then I saw the car really far in the back, testing the brakes. They never tried to pass again. It took me over 4 hours to get back from a 45-minute drive.
Mm.
And I got in front of my house, put the bike on the side stand, went inside, got the salt so I could get that, and it was a big one, get that bike on the path without falling.
Yeah. Wow.
So I didn't know why I was driving so slow. So my intuition told me, don't speed up.
Yeah. Nothing can stop you on ice. It doesn't matter what you're driving and what kind of tires you have or how heavy your vehicle is.
Well,
That's
the
the
luck
scariest
was
thing.
there were
Yeah.
those little dots of ice on it. So it had a little bit of grip.
Hmm.
And new tires.
I'm going to put this out here. Has anyone had a situation where, your friends, we'll say the friends that you grew up with, do they know, have you talked about psychic or any of this stuff, remote viewing? Um, uh, have you precognition, telepathy? Have you talked to any of your friends? Because what made me think about this is my daughter, Brittany, she sees things also before it happens, and she was having a get together with her best friend, and she never mentioned that to her until this one night. And she mentioned that she sees things before it happen, and her friend said, "I do too." And they had known each other for years, but yet they never knew that each other had this ability.
Hmm.
So that's why it's important, I guess, to kind of talk to other people, and who knows, maybe they also share that. But it's so hard to bring something like that up, especially
Mhm.
if you're raised in a Christian family, and you're not going to say that to your parents. They'll think you're insane. But um,
I would
like
say it now.
yeah,
I would, because like, what are you going to do about it? I don't live in
right.
your house anymore. So, I mean, I love you. This weird thing happened to me and I'm telling you about it. So
But
think what you want about me. Yeah.
all right, let's just say in your spirituality, and your beliefs, are you open to talking about all that stuff to everyone or just select people?
Select. I had
Yeah.
a friend I used to work with who told me at least 2 or 3 different past lives she'd had. And I said, "You talk to your husband about that?" She goes, "No, he doesn't believe in any of that stuff. He thinks this is your one life and that's it." I'm like, wow. But she opened up to me about it. It was fascinating, fascinating stories. And each time, at one point, it was a big man and a smaller man, and the bigger man shot when she was a smaller man in a boat. She has a birthmark that looks like a splatter of blood on her abdomen. And that was her husband, and that was her in this present life. It's
Wow.
and another one where her husband was at war, maybe the Civil War, and she hooked up with a black man, and he found out, and he killed her. It's crazy. She had the best stories, though.
Wow. Yeah. That is a great story. Appreciate you sharing that. Yeah. So, what about you, Lisa? Can you openly talk to your friends about these kind of subjects and topics?
I'm really selective about
Mm.
who I talk to about
Yeah.
it. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. And I'm really selective about it. And I also want to say that I just want to say that I have a lot of gratitude to my divine guidance for protecting me. The other day, I guess and we all have power animals. I guess there's a big wolf on the other side that helps me, and I wanted to say gratitude, for that. That they allowed me to bark like that and scare off the mean person, and I also wanted to say that I saw something really beautiful about like the future of the planet, and I saw it was just recently, a few days ago. It was
Really?
an image of a flag, and it was a beautiful, beautiful flag. And I thought it was rainbows on it, but it was actually like small squares, and they all looked like beautiful gardens. And each one represented a different part of the planet. And they all were, there was like 100 of them on a big, beautiful waving flag on a gold staff planted on the earth, and that the earth was encircled by benevolent off-worlders and other types of higher light beings, all joining hands, sending light codes to the earth. That was the image that I got. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I like that much more than Vera's apocalyptic dream.
I think she was working. Maybe, right? Maybe Vera, I was thinking about that when you were saying it, I was thinking maybe she's working collapsing those
Yeah,
bad timelines and
I agree.
putting light in there so those timelines cannot be manipulated.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I surmised as well. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
that could be a real explanation when
Mhm.
it's going nuts on that collective stuff all. I am completely drained every single morning.
Hmm.
I have to have my coffee,
Mhm.
except my doggy is not ready all the time. So I have to walk without coffee.
The things you do for Marley. Yeah.
He needs it. He needs it. Now she got disconnected.
Yeah. Well, it's probably just as well because the end of our hour is up. So, is there anything
Three
anybody
minutes.
is there anything anyone would like to close up with in regard to psychic visions that we didn't talk about? All right. So, on that note, I want to thank all of you ladies for joining us here and everybody that's in the chat room on ZENTASIA. If you're watching this on the recorded version, thank you and leave comments below about your experiences. So that's it for me. Sending you all infinite love and light from my heart to yours. And we'll be back next Tuesday. Hope to see everyone there here next Tuesday on Spirit Chat. So take care, everyone. Much love.
Peace.
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 Bye.